So this presentation is going to be on fossil fuels. Now, usually when you hear the word fossil, you might think of like a dinosaur bone or a dinosaur footprint, and those are fossils. But fossils are going to be any living remain, or sorry, any non-living remain from a once living organism. So dinosaurs, they can create fossils, but so can things like plants or insects and bacteria. Those can all create fossils as well. Now, when it comes to the creation of fossil fuels, it's going to be fuel from fossils. Now, again, a fossil fuel is going to be an energy-rich substance formed from minerals of ancient organisms or organic material. So basically, over time, the squishing and cementation of sediment and other living remains or other non-living or no longer living remains of organisms that have become fossilized over time, then we utilize those as fossil fuels because those organisms contain hydrocarbons and largely containing carbon and hydrogen, which are going to be your building blocks for living things. Fossil fuels are going to be known as a non-renewable resource because they take millions and millions of years in order to create the fossils and then actually utilize those fossils and have that chemical breakdown in order to create the energy that we know of as fossil fuels. Now, three main types of fossil fuels are coal, oil or petroleum being the more broad term for oil, and then gas. And that's what this presentation is going to be about, is what are these three fossil fuels and how are they created? So if we take a look here, this breaks down the composition of our three main fossil fuels, natural gas, petroleum, and coal. You're going to notice that they're all pretty much the same composition. They might have different physical appearances, but largely going to be made up of carbon and hydrogen, and then you're going to see also some nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, and then other minerals as well. If we take a look at coal, coal is going to be formed over millions of years, starting with swamps, kind of like the picture over here to the right. And if we take a look here, this is going to be the remains of decay from peat. And peat is going to be something that's kind of just like these clumped up remains of organisms, dirt, mud. And peat can also be burned for energy, but it's not going to produce quite as much energy as coal. Now, coal is going to form when peat is buried and compacted and fossilized. Coal is going to form, and then coal is also going to be more efficient to burn than peat, and it's going to generate more than half of the US's electricity currently. Oil or petroleum? If we take a look at oil or petroleum, this is going to be a thick liquid, so not a solid like coal, from the remains of small ocean animals that lived millions of years ago. And it's going to be found in underground deposits of sandstone, which is a type of sedimentary rock. And it's going to largely be used to make plastic and other petroleum products, such as the oil that you put into your car. And lastly, natural gas is going to be a mixture of methane and other gases that formed from the same organisms as oil. Okay, so once again, like those ocean creatures from millions of years ago, it's going to be made from those fossils, and it's going to be carried in pipelines and stored in tanks as a liquid rather than solid coal or liquid oil or petroleum. And it's going to be largely used for electricity, cooking, and heating.